tell me what's going on here.
Well, basically, we decided to protest the police. These racist cops need to be protested. We need to get rid of this broken system. We need to fix this mess that they have created through racial injustice. So, it started off as, the Black Lives Matter movement, continuing through everybody seeing the death of George Floyd. That brought a light to a lot of people's eyes. And we came out here in these streets and we let these cops know how we felt. And day after day, we started off coming very nice, actually. We started asking them, will you guys take a knee with us? Will you guys come out and hug us? Come out and talk with us? Come out and slap hands with us? Show us you're human beings, anything. Just show us that you're one of us as well. And these cops refused every bit of it. So we had to switch up tactics a little bit. We had to ramp it up just a little bit more each day. And eventually they were pushed back halfway up the street. So it was a pretty tense night that night. We were about 3 feet from the cops. I remember I was screaming. My voice was gone for like 4 days. We got the crowd chanting war crimes like these cops deserve, because they should be charged. They eventually started committing more war crimes against us. But what they didn't expect was that we weren't going to keep running. We were eventually going to start pushing back. So I don't know what time they got up out of here, but I was actually surprised when I walked up the hill, because I had been driving here that whole morning thinking, well, how I'm going to cuss out some cops today. And I was, sad to say, disappointed to see that these motherfuckers just up and left me.
So your partner over here is telling me you're one of the leaders of this whole thing. So you literally are one of the guys that organized this whole thing.
We don't really have leaders here. We are a community coming together.
Okay.
We do have representatives, and I am one of those representatives.
Okay.
I am also very active in this community. I spend a lot of hours here. I went back to work a month ago, but this is what I'm doing right now. I would say I've made an impact, yes.
Good. Yeah, somebody said something. We just on the plane, we were researching a little bit. They said that something about the general, or what did they say? The comrade was in charge or something?
The terrorist warlord.
The warlord, yeah.
Terrorist warlord. Yeah, that's Raf Simone. He's a local rapper.
Is that a real guy, or is that just some myth or legend, or is that something that's out here?
Man, they turned the man into a myth and a legend with that narrative, I'll tell you that much. But he's a local rapper here from Seattle.
Oh, okay, so he's a good guy.
So, he's a good guy. He saw the community in need and he stepped up to do his part. I've actually talked to the man myself. He's actually very smart, yeah.
Okay.
But as far as terrorist warlord, the reason that Raz was out here with some guns 1 or 2 days was because we had constant threats from racists and Proud Boys and KKK members and white supremacists, whatever they want to go by at this moment in time or whatever location they are in. Those idiots were out here threatening us. So we had to defend ourselves. We exercised our American right to bear arms. And here in Washington State, it is an open carry state.
That's what the other guy was saying, yeah.
We were out here protecting ourselves because we had threats against us. Since then, I haven't seen Raz walking with no guns.
And nobody's open carrying today.
And nobody's open carrying today and haven't been for, over a week now? I mean, the threats have died down, so our threat of having needs to protect ourselves has died down. So, yeah.
So, how much longer are you guys plan on staying here? What do you think? How long is this going to last?
This movement it's probably going to take a while for this movement. As far as this location, I've been telling people I wanted to move a week ago.
Yeah.
The movement's got to keep moving.
Are they gonna? Is there a time where the cops have said, or the city has said, we're just gonna move the barricades?
They're saying they're gonna move the barricades in 2 days. Actually, we just got the word of that today.
All right. What do you got to say about any of this? You cool with all this stuff?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just all the people that they're leading this thing. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to be right. You know what I'm saying? Keep it peaceful. That's all I can do.
What do you go by? What's your name, man?
They call me One Love.
One Love.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. All right.
All right.
Hey, I appreciate your time, guys.
So I am pleased to inform everyone that Seattle has been liberated. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, otherwise known as CHAZ, I think they switched their name to C.H.O.P, but I'm told they went back to CHAZ, was a failed 4-week Democrat experiment by the radical left, and the results are in. Anarchy is anti-American. Law and order is essential. Peace in our streets will be secured. While the Democrat mayor of Seattle proclaimed that CHAZ was to be, quote, the summer of love, in fact, it was not. And other failed Democrat politicians also remained passive or even silent in the face of anarchy. But while that happened, President Trump set the tone. Law and order must prevail to preserve peace in our streets. The president is not the Democrat governor of the state of Washington. The president is not the Democrat mayor of Seattle. But nevertheless, the president must lead by example and be prepared to act in the face of failed Democrat leadership, which is what we saw in Democrat Seattle and Democrat Wisconsin. President Trump has always stood on the side of law and order, and we are pleased to report that law and order has prevailed and Seattle has been liberated from the anarchist. In President Trump's America, autonomous zones will have no sanctuary. The BAZ, B-H-A-Z, which stood for the Black House Autonomous Zone across from the White House, was swiftly dismantled. 100 anarchists were arrested for rioting and destruction of federal property here in D.C. I believe that number is now above 300. 4 men have been charged in federal court for attempting to tear down the statue of Andrew Jackson in Lafayette Square, and there are 200 open domestic terrorism investigations. You contrast the president's vision of law and order to that of the failed CHAZ experiment in anarchy. And here's what you find in the failed Democrat experiment that took place out in Seattle. The Seattle Times said the shooting at Seattle's C.H.O.P protest tragically killed a 16-year-old boy, leaving a 14-year-old seriously injured. That's what happens in an autonomous zone. The police chief, Carmen Best, who did a marvelous job winding down the C.H.O.P zone, noted that C.H.O.P has become lawless and brutal and enough is enough, and she took action. According to reports, quote, police also investigated several vehicles circling the C.H.O.P zone with people inside carrying firearms and wearing body armor. This was no, quote, summer of love, as the Democrat mayor in Seattle said. And President Trump compelled action. He has said, take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will. He has said this is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped immediately, move fast. And finally, the Democrat mayor in Seattle, who was long delayed, finally gave the order to dismantle the CHAZ, and it was an admission. It was an admission that President Trump's vision is right, that anarchy is wrong, and that law and order bring peace. And with that, I'll take questions.